All right, welcome everyone. We are ready to dive deep today, and we've got a fascinating figure lined up. Really a legend, I'd say.
I think legend is putting it mildly. This
Yeah.
deep dive is all about Michael Jordan.
Oh, yeah. Michael Jordan. We've got a ton of material about him. His dominance on the court was just insane. And honestly, he completely changed the world of sports.
No question about it.
We're going to try to unpack what made him so special, what made him tick.
Yeah, how did this guy go from, getting cut from his high school team
Seriously.
to being, well, arguably the greatest basketball player of all time? The sources we have right off the bat, they highlight, just how much he accomplished.
It's almost hard to take in.
6 NBA championships with the Chicago Bulls, 5 MVP awards.
Oh,
Come on. And then you've got Air Jordans.
yeah,
Still a cultural force, even today.
absolutely.
But yeah, big question. How'd he get there?
Okay, so let's start at the beginning.
Sounds good.
Born February 17th, 1963, in Brooklyn, New York. But he was raised in Wilmington, North Carolina. And get this, he wasn't always just focused on basketball. He played baseball and football, too.
Really? Huh. Multi-talented from the get-go.
Yeah. It seems like it was really in his teenage years that he zeroed in on basketball.
Interesting. I wonder if playing other sports, maybe that helped him develop his athleticism overall. Like his coordination and
Well,
stuff.
that's a good point.
But the sources do seem to emphasize that, in his teens, basketball really became his main thing.
Like his passion was growing,
Totally.
and he started focusing all his energy there.
Makes sense.
Okay, but here's the thing. This is a story a lot of people can relate to. Getting cut from his high school sophomore team.
Oh, wow. I hadn't realized that.
Yeah, talk about a setback.
For sure.
But our sources frame this not as like a failure for Jordan, but like a turning point, like this huge motivator.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he spent the whole summer after that just training, like nonstop. And when he came back, he wasn't just back on the team, he was like the star player.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's incredible. It really speaks to that idea of perseverance, Like sometimes disappointment can actually push you to develop your talent in ways you wouldn't have imagined.
Totally. And the narrative around this, like this early setback, it's fascinating.
Right.
It wasn't just working harder.
Yeah.
Like the sources suggest a shift in his mindset, like this refusal to be limited.
I see. Like he refused to accept that that was it for him.
Yeah, exactly. And it seems like that experience really instilled in him, like this relentless drive
And that drive stayed with him.
throughout his entire career.
Wow. Okay, so after high school, he went to the University of North Carolina, coached by the legendary Dean Smith.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the sources detail how quickly he developed there. Think about this. Freshman year in the NCAA championship game,
Huge game.
he hits the game-winning shot against Georgetown with 17 seconds left on the clock.
As a freshman. Are you serious?
I know, right? What do you think it was about him, even that young, that allowed him to just be so calm under pressure?
Well, the material suggests that even at that stage, early in his career, he had this like incredible self-belief, like this composure that was just there, that winning shot. It wasn't just luck. He was able to focus and execute, even when everything was on the line.
It's almost that even then you see signs of what would become his, like, clutch reputation.
Yeah, that ability to deliver in the big moments,
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay, 1984. He declares for the NBA draft.
Here we go.
And he's selected 3rd overall by the Chicago Bulls.
The Chicago Bulls.
Yeah. Now, looking back, it's easy to think, oh, of course he went to the Bulls. But he wasn't the first pick.
No? Nope.
Hakeem Olajuwon went first.
Okay, yeah, Olajuwon was amazing.
So then Sam Bowie went second.
Huh. With hindsight, right?
I know. It seems crazy.
Yeah. What does that tell us about, like, the draft back then? Like,
Yeah.
how they evaluated players?
Well, the draft is always a gamble. Olajuwon, he was a top prospect, no question. But Bowie, some of the material actually mentions he had some injury concerns.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I think it highlights how unpredictable the draft can be. Teams are making these decisions based on potential, and sometimes it just doesn't pan out.
Makes sense.
And, Jordan going 3rd, it might have just added fuel to his fire.
I bet.
Okay, so rookie season, 1984-85.
This is where it all begins.
Dude was electric.
Right.
His athleticism was off the charts. His scoring ability, it was clear right away he was a major force. He wins Rookie of the Year, and it really felt like the NBA had shifted.
The league had a new energy.
Absolutely. But the 80s weren't all smooth sailing.
Right.
The Bulls were still building their team. They faced some really tough competition, like the Detroit Pistons, the the Boston Celtics, these were powerhouses.
For sure.
The Pistons, in particular, they had this notoriously physical defensive strategy they called the Jordan Rules.
I've heard about this, vaguely.
It was brutal. It was specifically designed to shut Jordan down. What can you tell us about how it actually worked?
Well, from what I've read, the Jordan rules involved aggressive double teaming, especially when he was driving towards the basket.
Just try to swarm him.
Yeah. And they would try to force him to his left, which was considered his weaker side. And they would play really, really physically.
Like almost dirty.
Yeah. The idea was to wear him down, frustrate him.
Make it impossible.
Exactly. It just shows how much of a threat he was.
Yeah.
That teams had to resort to these, almost extreme measures to try to contain him.
It's wild. Okay, so this is where things start to really come together for the Bulls. Scottie Pippen emerges as a top-tier player.
Oh, yeah, Pippen.
And Phil Jackson takes over as coach.
A legendary duo.
And in 1991, they finally overcome the Pistons.
Huge.
Then they go on to win their first NBA Finals against Magic Johnson and the Lakers. It wasn't just about Jordan anymore. It was about a team clicking.
Yeah, that's so important. It really shows how crucial it is to have a great supporting cast. Pippen developing into this, dominant force, and then Jackson with his coaching strategies. They created a system where Jordan's talent could really flourish.
They found a way to amplify his strengths.
Precisely. And, that first championship in '91, that was a result of years of hard work building that team and overcoming those obstacles. It was a breakthrough.
And that was just the beginning.
It was. What came next was remarkable.
They win 3 championships in a row, 1991, 1992, 1993, the first three-peat. And Jordan is named the Finals MVP every single time. It was like unstoppable.
3 straight championships.
Yeah.
At that level of play. It's unheard of. I mean, it really speaks to their consistency, their dedication, and of course, Jordan's just insane drive to win. It never wavered.
Then, in 1993, something totally unexpected happened.
Yeah, this is where it takes a turn.
Jordan announces he's retiring.
Just like that.
He's at the top of his game, and he walks away.
Wow. And his father, James Jordan, had been murdered just a few months earlier. That obviously had a huge impact on him.
Absolutely.
It really puts things in perspective, you know? It shows that even for someone like Michael Jordan, life throws curveballs. And sometimes priorities shift.
You realize it's not always just about the game.
Right. And then, well, he goes and plays baseball.
Yeah, he signs with the Chicago White Sox, plays in the minor leagues. It was like this whole other chapter.
He really was. And it's interesting, the material we have suggests he wasn't a bad baseball player. But it was also clear his heart wasn't in it the same way it was with basketball.
Yeah, he's like he was fulfilling a dream, maybe, but the fire wasn't there.
Right. And in a way, I think it highlighted just how unique his basketball talent was.
Okay, March 1995. 2 words. I'm back.
Chills.
He returns to the Bulls.
And what a return it was.
It was almost immediate. He was right back in top form.
It was insane. What do you think made that possible? I mean, after that break, how do you just jump back in like that at that level?
Well, I think part of it was just his dedication to staying in shape. Yeah. And, the sources point to his deep understanding of the game. That doesn't go away.
Yeah, like it's ingrained.
But also that competitive drive, that fire, it was still burning.
He just flipped the switch.
And the dynasty picks up where it left off. 1996, 1997, 1998, 3 more championships. The second three-peat. It's almost unbelievable. 2 separate periods of just total dominance.
It's unheard of, really. Coming back after a break like that and achieving that level of success again, it speaks to an insane amount of dedication, talent, and pure will.
But, it was more than just the championships, the scoring titles, the stats. What set him apart was his competitive spirit, that ability to deliver under pressure. Like, his talent was incredible, but it was that mental toughness, the will to win. That's what made him legendary.
Absolutely. He didn't just want to win. He expected to win.
And he elevated everyone around him.
Yeah, he pushed his teammates. He pushed himself. He was never satisfied, always striving for more.
And then there's the whole other side of it, the global icon, the Air Jordans, the Nike partnership. That was more than just a sponsorship.
It was cultural. I mean, think about it. Air Jordans are still like a symbol, you know? They represent athletic achievement, but also style. Aspiration.
And that partnership with Nike, it revolutionized sports marketing. It created a brand that's still going strong today.
And it's not just the shoes. He became a global ambassador for the NBA.
Right, he helped make basketball a worldwide phenomenon.
His popularity in the 90s was just massive. It helped the NBA expand globally in ways that, I don't know, maybe wouldn't have happened otherwise.
And even today, he's still one of the most recognizable athletes in the world. And even after he retired, he stayed connected to the game. He became the owner of the Charlotte Hornets in 2010. He's got all these business ventures, from shoes and clothing to film production. He's not just living off his past glory.
He's still a force in the sports world and in the business world.
It's like he's driven to succeed in everything he does.
I think that's a key part of his story. It's not just about being great at basketball. It's about that mindset, that dedication to excellence in all areas of life.
So his legacy, it's about way more than 6 championships.
It really is.
He became a symbol of hard work, dedication, achieving your dreams. His story continues to inspire people all over the world.
And think about the players who came after him. LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Kevin Durant. They all looked up to Jordan. He set the standard. He showed them what was possible.
He raised the bar.
Absolutely. And the incredible thing is his influence goes beyond sports.
It's true.
His work ethic, his competitiveness, his resilience, these are qualities that are valuable in any field.
Like in any aspect of life.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, it's clear that Michael Jordan's impact goes way beyond basketball.
He redefined what it means to be a champion.
He combined incredible talent with an unparalleled dedication to his craft.
And he inspired millions along the way. It makes you think, what can we learn from his story? How can we apply those same principles of dedication and perseverance in our own lives?
That's the big question, right? What resonates with you most about Michael Jordan?
This was a great conversation, but honestly, we've only scratched the surface. There's so much more to explore.
Absolutely. We encourage you to keep digging, learn more about Michael Jordan, about the NBA in the 90s, about the evolution of sports and marketing. There's a whole world out there.
It's fascinating stuff.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll be back soon to explore another fascinating topic. We'll see you then. Take care.